This is the last video that we're going to use for the theories, and we're going to discuss Eysenk's theory, and I want you to remember that this is Eysenck at old age. He's working in England, one of the psychologists that is not in States, brings back theories of psychology in Europe, as they started with Freud and Jung, and he has worked his theory with his partner, wife, and Dr. Eysenck. So most of the books are Eysenck and Eysenck. Eysenck is picking up on Jung's theory on the traits, but is combining factor analysis, and we're going to see what factor analysis is later when we're discussing the ways personality is tested and inventories like the Big Five. And also he is continuing in depth the trait theory, the trait conception and personality. However, his unique contribution, and that's why he is in our essays, is that he has combined his trait theory on personality with functions of the brain. So he's bringing back psychology to biology and talking about psychobiological components that make our personality. Especially when we discuss extroverted and introverted according to Eysenck, we'll understand where is the difference with Jung and how Eysenck in the 60s and the 90s and late 90s is more up-to-date, more contemporary theory compared to the 1920s extroverted introverted type of Jung. Okay, I want you to understand that Eysenck believes that people have certain characteristics in their life, traits that they used to work by, and they create habits. These habits either are other times made out of many, other times made out of less traits, are making the big trait a person is. For example, the habit of saying hello every day to everyone and be smiley eventually contributes to the trait of being extroverted. The habit of thinking out loud and making thoughts loud and talking and at the same time thinking, that makes a habit of an extroverted who is talking and thinking at the same time. And all together this smiley, outgoing, thinking while talking becomes a trait of extrovert. Also, other cluster of habits, other traits, all together, two traits now, then can combine to enact a specific act, and all these traits create a factor. Remember we said Eysenck is analyzing factors. He's working based on factor analysis. So he's saying this characteristic, this factor of my personality has this trait, and has all these little expressions of this trait, which are coming as habit. And all these factors are enacted, all these traits are enacted and help the factor to actualize who the person is. At the same time, we can start from a factor who is going back and transferring, because the factor exists there in the personality, go back and works and enacts the traits. And the traits, of course, contribute in the development of habits and special daily characteristics. So let's say as a factor I'm calm, I can have the trait of being quiet and relaxed, and that will make a habit. I'm not rushing. I'm taking my time in making decisions, and that gives a everyday live presentation of myself as a calm, quiet, relaxed person. Now, he came up with something we call 10 dimensions. And the dimensions are those that are related to personality inventory. We call them PEN because personality expression. So he came with one axis. The axis goes across with all the different sides of extroversion to introversion. At the same time, there is the vertical. I'm sorry. So this extroversion means that the person is sociable, active, assertive, sensation-seeking, dominant, a person that is really through adventure, carefree, has all these characteristics. The opposite is the introverted. We'll watch a video, a funny video about the introverted. If we can't watch it in the class, please, it's in the side, watch it, it's funny. It says what's an introverted, and the opposite, of course, is implied to be the extroverted. The vertical axis moves from neuroticism to stability. Neuroticism is somebody. Neuroticism is a situation where somebody is acting neurotically, and neurotic is the person who is acting with nerves, with complexes, as we say today, with not relaxed attitude. He's edgy, he's stressed, or she is stressed. All these are examples of neuroticism. And stability is when the person has the same stable behavior. At the same time, I want you to understand that introversion means be included to yourself, like enclosed, opposite of being open and calm. But if introversion is combined with neuroticism, if we see this area, then the person, it's not a calm, stable, relaxed introvert. It's an anxious, depressed, a person with low self-esteem, shy, moody, tense, emotional, irrational, introverted person. Now, because all the people who are not falling in this category, all his sample, he knew that he was not touching everything. He started giving his questionnaires to people who were in asylums, like in institutions, mental institutions. And there, he found something amazing. All these people there, they fall into this category. They were somewhere here. It's a third axis. They were between extroverted and neurotic. And that's why they were very, very, very highly alerted. I know you need to understand that the extroverted person is an outgoing, screaming, shouting, loud person. If this person is neurotic at the same time, like edgy all the time, this is very close to psychosis. So this person becomes psychotic. This person was in the mental institution. And there, Eyshenk found them. And he realized that these people there are the exact opposite of these people here. Those who have control of their self, they're stable and introverted. The quiet, relaxed people who are outside of the mental institutions. So this is what psychotic is. When it's combined between them, it's aggressive, it's cold, it's egocentric, it's impulsive, antisocial, unempathic. It is creative, the person. Can make crimes, very creative crimes, or can have big ideas. We can say Hitler was a psychotic. Okay? Egocentric he was. Unempathic, he didn't care what was happening to the Jews. He was tough-minded, he was strict there, he was creative, he had ideas about Germany. And he was, of course, aggressive because he was ready to kill and he was a soldier, and cold when making this decision kill so many people. And of course, impulsive. If you see movies about Hitler, you will understand how explosive personality he was. So uh, this is not extroverted, not neurotic exactly, it's in between. And I want you to see how these characteristics as behaviors are the traits and factors in Eysenk's theory. Okay, so based on this, now Eysenck developed all these types of personality. Remember the Jung's typology? We had the thinker, extroverted thinker, introverted thinker, something like this, similar like this. So he's developing the stable extrovert, who is called sanguine, and the neurotic extrovert, who is choleric. That's how he called the type. He had to give names. The stable introverted, who was called phlegmatic, like some people who are really very polite. In my Greek culture, we consider phlegmatic the English people because they were stable, introverted, opposite to Greeks who were extroverted. And of course, there's the neurotic introvert, which is melancholic called. Okay, this person will make a crime. This person will kill himself in extremes. Okay, now to identify his people, to make questionnaires and research, because I want you to understand that all of this needs research, is Eysenck, as everybody else, developed inventories. Inventories are made up, specially made up questionnaires. So his inventory is called EPI, Eysenck Personality Inventory, and measures only extroversion and neuroticism, and has 57 questions. The questions have this kind of format. Do you prefer to have few but special friends? And the answer can be yes or no. There's no 1 to 10. There's no Likert scale. Do other people think of you as very lively? And then there are Likert scales. So 57 questions, and people can fit somewhere in the categories he's making. This question, do you get attacks or shaking or trembling, indicates his first effort to identify if these people, the extroverted, neurotic, are having body effects of their neuroticism. Okay, this is the first time he's trying to identify brain-related connections to the behavior. And of course, he developed a personality questionnaire, which was called EPQ, Eysenck Personality Questionnaire, measures all factors he has identified, and then he analyzed these factors. That's why we talk about factor analysis. And 90 items of this questionnaire included, do you enjoy hurting people you love? Very intrusive questions. And they could say words there. It was open-ended answers. Or yes or no. Do you worry a lot about catching diseases? And all these questions really can pinpoint the personality. If you enjoy hurting people you love, what makes you this? I hope you answered make you neurotic or criminal or psychotic. Because how can you love a person and at the same time hurt it? But having said that, how many times we hurt the people who we love, like our boyfriend, our girlfriend? So this is what he's trying to identify. Not all people are psychotic. And they sometimes hurt people they love, but they don't enjoy. That's the key word. They suffer. So if somebody says, yes, I enjoy and I feel pleasure and I find myself intrigued and I find myself happy and bright and alerted when I heard them, then we have a case. So all these questions are really ways to see inside people's mind. These are questionnaires, and we're going to discuss them when we discuss other issues about the way questionnaires are assessing personality. But all this can be faked. All this can be given not correct answers, but social desirable responses. What is a social desirable response? Exactly. You answer what you think the others want you to answer. Social desirability, keyword for everywhere. It's one of the problems in psychology. When we give questionnaires, remember that when we give Likert scale questionnaires, the major problem, or other questionnaires, inventories, the major problem we confront is we are not 100% sure because we can have the social desirability factor. People answer what they believe the marker or the reporter wants to listen, not their true mind. This is why he came up with this idea that he has to research the brain. So he realized that there are some people who had cognitive efficiency and their arousal level was varying according to their character. So he tried to correlate the arousal and the efficiency. And he found that if this is the below optimal ability to think, and this is again below optimal ability to think, a person could have optimal ability to think if his arousal was in the middle. If I'm not aroused, if I'm sleepy, I'm not thinking well. If I'm overexcited, I'm seeing everything red, I'm not thinking well. And what he understood was that when it comes to extroverted people, in this axis, cognitive efficiency and arousal level, he realized that the extroverted people had optimal arousal when many ideas were coming. Sorry, I did it very quickly. So he had major arousal, extroverted had major arousal when more ideas were coming into their cortex. Cortex, the thoughts. Every time some new idea, some more discussion was coming there, the level of arousal was higher, and they had optimal arousal when I had a lot of distractions. So that's why some people can still think and still sit exams when everything is happening around them, drilling, building, other people talking, singing, okay, because they're thinking that time, and they can answer questions and they can think. And when people are going away, the thoughts are going away, their arousal is less. So he really developed this theory that the excitation develops slowly, they get slowly excited, and this excitation is weak. But their reactive inhibition of thoughts develops very quickly, and it is very strong. So they react to the input of the others. They may not think, but when you ask questions, they start thinking. And this reactive inhibition is strong. And this is the extrovert arousal. People are talking and they're thinking. Imagine the creators that when they brainstorm. And its worst part, this case, give hysterical symptoms and antisocial psychopathic behaviors. When this extrovert arousal combines with neuroticism. What happens to the introvert person? Imagine that the introvert has all these stimuli around them. that was helping the introvert to succeed and complete the work and think. The introvert, on the other side, starts with below optimal. And as the factors go away, he's reaching his optimal arousal. And Eyshenk thought that this is not something that is accidental. It happens again and again with all the people. So the introvert's excitation develops quickly and is strong when he is alone, and reactive inhibition develops slowly and is weak because he can't react, he can't think with the others. Where the extroverted person thinks in collaboration with others. This person needs to take it home and think about it and come up with ideas. That's why this person in the neurotic spectrum can have anxiety, phobias, and obsessive compulsive disorders. Because this behavior, the compulsive behavior, makes them to relax down. People who have obsessive compulsive disorder, they relax down when they wash their hands too many times. Now, what the research of Eyshenk found regarding extroverts and introverts. He realized that introverts had faster contraction of pupil and slower dilation of the eye pupil. And the introverts require a low level of sedation to sleep. Why? Why extroverts, the alive and lively and loud people, talkative people, require low sedation? Because their brain is already sleepy if they don't talk. Whereas the introverts, they think inside themselves. Faster pupillary contraction means the the focus of the camera, the lens of the camera is open, picking up information all the time. Yeah? So they watch, they see, they think, the mind is working. Introverts, they prefer lower levels of stimulation when learning. So introverts learn better when the environment is calm and relaxed. The extroverts, they tolerate pain more. They can talk to their pain. They can say, no, I'm not in pain, I'm okay. And they find the pain when they talk to the nurse. Introverts, they learn more quickly and forget more slowly. And introverts are better students. What really Eyshenk discovered, and that's why he got a place in the Hall of Fame, is that autonomous nervous system is learning to work and function at a threshold. So if stimuli coming and again through our autonomous nervous system, there's no emotional response to the introverted person. Even the high stimuli, a high stable person has no emotional response. It's not the end of the world. Okay? Or it's a huge thing, a small emotional response is the result. Not because of extroverted, introverted, but because their brain is made like this. Now we're talking about the autonomous nervous system. So the levels of cortisol, the levels of dopamine, the levels of thalamus function is not as high. The highly neurotic person on the other side, remember the axis stable and neurotic, regardless if it's extroverted or introverted, the highly neurotic person, extroverted or introverted, when stimuli come, the autonomous nervous system can accept and have no response in one. But when a bigger one comes, there is already a response. There is some small emotional response. So I want you to understand the previous example, we had response in the fourth, fifth emotional stress. Whereas here, the second one has already brought up a response. And now it's bigger. And the fourth one, it will become huge. And somebody can have a very big emotional response, can kill himself or the others. And this is what I wanted you to know about Eyshenk. Thank you. And I need to sit down now. I don't know where it is. And we are going to continue with the factor analysis, not because it is in our topic, but because you will understand better Eysenck and the factors and how they work. And when we discuss in testing, you will see Catel's 16 factors and 32 factors and Myers questionnaire, and you won't know what factors are and what factor analysis is. That's why we have to do it. Thank you.